In this IAM tutorial for beginners, we are going to learn about the IAM policies. Guys, the IAM policies play a really crucial role in identity and access management for security and for providing access to different resources for the users. So you can see that I am on my dashboard, IAM dashboard, and you can also see that I have these 12 policies. But all of these policies are actually customer managed. So it means that I have created these policies myself. So these are actually customer managed. So now if I go to policies again, now you can see there are actually total of 1576 policies. So there are, most of them are AWS managed policies, and those policies are actually created by default when you log in into your AWS console. So all of these policies were created by AWS, and that's why these are known as AWS managed policies. And those 12 policies are actually created by myself. That's why those are known as customer managed policies. So that is core difference between AWS managed and customer managed policies. The AWS managed policies are created by AWS, and customer managed policies are created by the users like me and you. So policy is a JSON document which defines the permissions, which user can have the access to which resource. I am a user, my name is Faisal, and I want to have the access to EC2. So there must be a policy and it should be attached to my user so that I can have access to the EC2 service or EC2 resources. Now, there are actually the levels of access, whether I want to have read only access or I want to have the full access. And there are actually the admin policies as well. For instance, if I am a user and I want to have the administrator access, now here you can see this is the most powerful policy in my AWS account. And if you can log in to your AWS account, you will see this policy created by AWS, and that is why it is AWS managed policy, and it provides full access to AWS services and resources. Now, every policy is a JSON document, and if we review it, you can see here the version, the statement, and here the permissions are defined. This is the version. It means that this policy was created back in 2012, okay, and it is 14 years old policy, and that's how it works. It means the effect is allow. So there are only two effects. It is either allow or deny, and by default the access to all the resources in AWS is denied. So we explicitly allow the access to any resource for any user. I hope that you got my point. By default, every access to every resource in AWS is denied. For instance, if I log in as a normal user, as an IAM user, my user is Faisal or David or Manoj or Adam, so I will not have access to any resource until and unless some of my team member or DevOps lead or DevOps manager explicitly attach policies with my user, and after that I would be able to access the AWS resources. And if I'm granted the administrator access, it means that I would be able to modify EC2 instances. I would be able to create Kubernetes clusters, ECS clusters, or S3 buckets. Everything can be done if I have the administrator access. Okay, that's why it is the most powerful policy, because it gives us the permission of anything. Status mean you can do anything you want, and from this status, this is resource, it means that you can have the access to all the resources. There are no limited resources, whether you want to have the access to EC2 or IAM or S3 or EKS or Bedrock or SageMaker. You can have it. You can enjoy every service and resource if this policy is attached to you, to your user. And by the way, guys, if you have joined as a DevOps intern or mid-level DevOps, you might not be going to get the administrator access really soon. It is only managed by the admins of any company. The admins can be your DevOps manager or your senior DevOps engineer. So this is actually the administrator access. I hope that now you know the format of any policy. So every policy is in the JSON format. Now, if I want to go through the EC2 full access policy, and let's expand it, you can search for any policies, but if you don't find it, you can create one yourself as well. And I have expanded this policy. So this is actually the EC2 full access, which means that everything in EC2 can be done if this policy is attached to a user. Manoj has this access. Manoj has EC2 full access. So it means that he is going to get the resources of EC2, like EC2 virtual machine, like EC2 load balancing, CloudWatch, and auto scaling. These are the key resources that come under the umbrella of EC2. Okay, so this means that the user would be able to have auto scaling, EC2, load balancing, reserved instances. We can have spot instances, spot fleet instances. So this policy means that everything of EC2 would be granted to a user, so that user can create EC2 virtual machines. He can modify, he or she can launch instances, he or she can even reboot or terminate instances. So we have to make sure that we are granting this policy with a DevOps engineer having a sound AWS experience, because if it can lead to accidental terminations, and that's why this is a very critical policy. The full administrator and full access policies are actually granted gradually. If you have joined as a DevOps intern, or you are a junior DevOps, it means that you're not going to get these policies really soon. So that's how in identity and access management, least privilege principle is really important to understand. Least privilege principle means that we should give only the policy that can help that user to perform his or her tasks. This is actually the least privilege principle. If a user needs only S3 access, let me explain it with a quick example. I don't need to grant this user, there is a user like Sarah, okay, and Sarah needs S3 access to create buckets and to upload data into that buckets. Why would I grant her the policy of EC2 full access? I will grant the only S3 bucket policy. So I'm not going to give her the S3 full access. So that's how we create fine-grained and granular policies, so every user can perform his or her desired tasks. Any user should not be given the full access to all the services to a specific service. If a user needs to launch EC2 instances, that user must be given that policy only. That user must be granted only permission to launch the instances. And that's how the least privilege principle works. Okay, we should not grant the full administrative policies. I hope that you're getting my point. So we can also create policies ourselves. So you saw that there are hundreds or even 1500 policies. So 1500 policies are actually managed by AWS. Like if I want to review the S3 full access, now this is actually the S3 full access policy, which means that every resource in S3, now asterisk means every resource in S3 is allowed. So that's how the policies work, and all of these policies are actually AWS managed, and I can create a policy myself here. So I have clicked on policy, and now here I am able to just paste the content of JSON policy here. Which policy do I need to create? Or the visual one is simple, and it is really easy to create a policy myself. For instance, if I want to create a policy for EC2, now I have selected the resource as EC2. So I'm going to set the permissions of for EC2. The effect is allow or deny. So there are only two effects: access denied, and then this is actions allowed. So which one? Now we have to specify what actions can be performed on specific resources in EC2. So now I have to list down the permissions. Now there are actually the read permissions and the write permissions. So I'm going to drop down, click on this menu, and there are write permissions. So all the write actions are listed here. These are all write actions. Okay, and if I want to, for instance, if this policy is allowed to attach volumes, now I can only select this action. Okay, so that action can only be performed if I create this policy. Similarly, let's see more actions here, and I will go up. So there are read actions as well. So these are actually the access levels. You want to grant the read only access, or you want to give the write access as well. In the write, a user would be able to modify the resources, but in read access, a user will only be able to view the resources. I hope that you know it very well. And here there are write permissions. So any permission that is needed. So for instance, I want to have this user to associate address, to attach volume, create VPC. So that's how we can customize any policy. So there are so many you can see there are so many actions that can be performed. Okay, so guys, I have selected all these permissions, and I can even add more permissions as well. I will click on next. Here I am going to give the policy name EC2 custom, and I can give the description for this policy as well. And now here you can see the service is EC2, the access level is right, and all the resources are selected within EC2. So I'm going to click on create policy, and now you can see I have created a custom EC2 policy. So I can find it here, EC2 custom. Now you can see that it is actually customer managed policy, and I can expand it to view the actions that were added for that policy, like attach volume, copy snapshot, attach VPN gateway, copy volumes, copy images. That's how we can create custom policies. And after that, I can attach this policy to any user. Like for instance, I want to attach it to ADAM DevOps. I will click on ADAM DevOps and add permissions here, add permissions, and then attach policies directly, EC2 custom. And that's how we can attach policies with the users. And from here, you can see that there are 3 customer managed policies and 2 AWS managed policies attached with this IAM user Adam DevOps. So that's it, guys, for today's lecture. I hope that you have a better understanding of the policies, and that's how you can create custom policies yourself and attach with the users. In the next chapter, we are going to discuss about the IAM roles. So make sure that you subscribe DevOps Molvi. I'll see you in the next chapter. Have a good one, and bye.